This is the Solid Signal podcast for the week of November 19th, 2018. Cellular signal boosters have recently become a big topic over at solidsignal.com, the parent company of this podcast, and whom I hope you shop at not only for your holiday stuff, but all year round for the best in satellite, cellular, and antennas. Enough of the commercial. Let's get back to the topic. Cellular signal boosters. Up to 90% of people, and I've heard this statistic over and over again, have some problem with cell reception during the day. Oftentimes it's at home at night because our homes are really most of the time just not built for cell service to pass through. As a matter of fact, in many cases, especially if you've got a house that's made of stucco or one with energy efficient windows, they are designed to specifically block the kinds of broadcasts that a cell phone actually uses. This is still amazing. And what's even more amazing to me is that no builder has come up with cell phone ready homes or something like that really would highlight the issue, because I think such a builder would have a lot more success. I mean, after all, they do have great success when they talk about energy efficiency. Why not talk about cell phone readiness? But I digress. If you're not in one of those homes because they do not exist, then you're probably going to want a cellular signal booster. Cell boosters are an easy way to make sure that you get the signal that you deserve. You put one antenna up on the roof, you put one antenna inside the house, and you run an amplifier in between them. It's super easy, and every cellular signal booster comes in a kit that includes everything that you need, including cable. Even if you cannot get up on the roof, you can use a signal booster that allows you to work from inside the house. Just has a built-in antenna. You put it up against the window or something like that. But I'm not talking about those this time around. This time I'm talking about the ones where the antenna is outside, and the question is where to place it. Naturally, you're going to want to do as little work as possible and put that antenna not up very high. But I'm here to tell you there's a reason that you want to put it up high and far away from the indoor antenna. The further away the outdoor and indoor antenna are, the better the system is going to work. And the higher up that outdoor antenna is, the better the system is going to work. What am I talking about? Ideal situation, you want to have the outdoor antenna 15 feet higher than the indoor antenna and 35 to 40 feet horizontal distance. I know this is going to seem like a fairly insurmountable kind of thing, especially if you're in a single-story home. If you're in a two-story home and you put the indoor antenna down on ground level and the outdoor antenna up on an 8-foot mast on the chimney, then you're actually going to be having a pretty easy time of that. But I know you're still going to have to go up on the roof. You're still going to find a way that you need to aim that thing, and I get it. It's a pain. But it's worth it, folks. It's worth it. First of all, the higher up you put up that cell phone antenna, that outdoor antenna, I should say, the better it's going to work, because it's going to have an easier time seeing all of those cell signals that are out there. And a lot of times these antennas don't even need to be aimed. They just need to be up high as you can, so that it's not impeded by other buildings, by trees, by anything else that's out there. It's a good idea to, like I said, try to get that 15 feet vertical separation from the indoor antenna, and also just get it up as high as you want. I'm not talking about going completely psycho and putting it up 100 feet. As a matter of fact, that really wouldn't work. The highest that you'd really want a cell phone outdoor antenna up is about 50 feet. Why? Because that's the height of the towers, and the towers are actually designed to broadcast signal across and down, not up. It's an interesting kind of thing. If you're a suburban dweller, you don't have a problem with it, but if you're in a high-rise apartment building in a city, you may find that your cell phone signal is actually pretty bad, and you end up putting the outdoor antenna down at ground level and the indoor antenna up where you are. That's just kind of a funny thing about city life. But horizontal separation, let's talk about that for a second. You're going to want the two antennas separated horizontally by about 35 to 40 feet if you can possibly do it. In other words, one on one side of the house, one on the other side of the house, as far away as you possibly can. Why is that? Well, think about it. You want that indoor antenna to cover the entire house. So it's not going to do that if it starts to do that and then it reaches the outdoor antenna. You see, if the signal from the outdoor or indoor antenna can reach the other antenna, if one antenna can hear the other one, then the booster is automatically going to reduce power until that stops happening. And that's going to severely limit the amount of area that's covered by your cell phone booster. As a matter of fact, that happens to be the biggest mistake that people make when they install cell phone signal boosters is they put the outdoor antenna directly above the indoor antenna. And yes, that is going to cause problems. It's going to limit the amount of coverage that you get. Ideally, you want the indoor antenna on one side of the house. You want the outdoor antenna on the other side of the house. And that way, there's no chance that you're going to lose coverage within the house just because the two antennas are communicating. If the outdoor and indoor antenna are allowed to actually hear each other, then you risk oscillation, which is a form of feedback. Everybody knows what feedback is. It's that whistling noise you get when your microphone's too close to a speaker, and nobody likes it. Well, imagine something like that happening in your cell phone signal and could take down the cell tower around it. That's why there's electronics inside the booster that's going to make sure that doesn't happen. It's going to automatically reduce the power level if the two antennas talk, and you do not want that to happen. You only want those two antennas to communicate through the wire. You don't want them to be able to hear each other over the air. You know, this is probably the most important thing I can tell you about cell booster installation, because the rest of it is just super easy. Find a good place for the outdoor antenna. Find a good place for the indoor antenna. Make sure they're as far away as possible, and the booster just does the rest. You will be amazed by the kind of coverage that you get within the house if you do it properly. If you don't, you're going to find that your coverage is limited to 1 to 2 rooms, and nobody really wants that, especially considering that cell boosters are not the cheapest gift this holiday season. That's about it for the Solid Signal podcast this week. Do me a favor and shop at solidsignal.com, because they do keep the lights on over here at the Solid Signal podcast. Read tutorials at blog.solidsignal.com, and I'll see you again or hear you again next week.